As far as, I'm just gonna get it out of the way now, as far as like my PlayStation 4 games, I got Skullgirls Second Encore, Mortal Kombat X, Guilty Gear Xrd, the Street Fighter 5 beta, DOA Last Round, and I'm missing one more. Gosh, what is it? I think it's just Mortal Kombat and Guilty Gear Xrd. That's all I have. A bunch of digital titles, including PS3. PS3's digital library is humongous. I think that's going to be another video because these are all my physical games that I have. And as far as my digital PS3 right now, it's both American and Japanese. So Japanese, including Japanese fighting games, specifically in the Japanese PlayStation account, which I have tons of, but we're gonna get started. And there's no words for this. This is childhood, man. This is childhood. I have another game down there that's childhood, just like this. A huge, huge game. And people are probably gonna be mad at me, but hey, you know, I still love Alpha 3 much better than Third Strike. And I still think Third Strike is one of the best Street Fighter games out there. This is for another time. This is amazing. Next up is Taken 2. Yeah. This is actually one of my... I actually like this game more than Taken 3 as well. Taken 3 changed everything about that game, made it more smooth, made it more, I would say, relaxed. Besides the whole space jumps and not being able to sidestep certain moves, but yeah, this game is still pretty good. I love it. I love it much better than Taken 1 and Taken 2. Yeah. And next up is... yeah, it's probably gonna have another sticker on it. Guess what? Yeah. You can't see Morgan's face, but I'm sorry. Sticker's right there. I should probably remove it. Darkstalkers 3, guys. This is the golden... I think we're going through the golden age of Capcom fighters right here, ladies and gentlemen. Because this game is way, way too much fun for me. And while people tell me that, man, Darkstalkers Resurrection was like 2 years ago, I still like to think that after Street Fighter V, that they will go back to Darkstalkers, and hopefully they will not be dead for another 3 decades. Yeah, Darkstalkers 3, guys. Go buy Darkstalkers Resurrection. This next game, man. Let me take a moment here. I'm gonna do a video very special to this game. This was all in the golden arc of Capcom fighters. Look at this. Please tell me you played this game before. If you see my PlayStation account every single time, I always have Kyosuke as my avatar, because he was one of my favorite characters in the whole entire game. And funny enough, this is the first game with every likable character. I play every single character in this game because they're all lovable and all enjoyable. Got this when I was in Japan, same with Street Fighter Alpha 3. I was born into the realm of fighters. And this one, they need a sequel. Give me a Kickstarter, anything. I'll give you all my money, just like what people did with Shimmy 3. Just take all my money, man. Right, West Coast people. You don't know what it is until you actually played it. Next up in our fighting game collection is this very unstable copy of Mortal Kombat 4. This game is a lot of fun. I can't say it's better than Deception, because like I said, Deception is still one of my all-time favorites. But this was the Mortal Kombat reboot before Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 2011 reboot came out. This is how they've done their games. Let alone, this is probably one of the most broken-ass games I've played too. One of the most broken Mortal Kombat games. There's so many crazy juggles, it's amazing. Mortal Kombat 4, guys. And if you really don't know this game, you should probably type up the Mortal Kombat 4 Nintendo 64 Quan Chi, or not Quan Chi, Scorpion ending for that. It's a very famous scene. Next up, guys, is another game I love. No better than 2, but again, here you go. The golden game of Tekken. The one that did it right. Do I need to say anything about this? No. You look at this cover and you say that this is fucking badass. Alright, Tekken 3, guys. That's all I got. I got nothing else to say. Next up is Soul Blade. Not Soul Calibur, Soul Blade. Look at this, man. Soul Blade was very early in its stages. This was the granddaddy of Soul Calibur. If you say Soul Calibur was the first game, you are mistakenly wrong. As you will see, Soul Blade is the grandfather of Soul Calibur. Man, it's pretty crazy because they say Soul Calibur 5 was the 5th game, but yet here we are looking at, you know, this game right here. This is the true prequel to everything. Soul Blade, man. Look at that Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi is so young in this game, man. Next up is something I love to talk about again. Other than Criticom. By the way, Criticom's case is not here, because guess what? We already talked about it. I don't think you want to see it ever again. But, not a jewel case. But look at those letters real quick. Look at that. Resurrection. Rise 2. By Acclaim. Guys, you tried so hard pushing the robots versus robots fighting game. And somehow you made it so much worse in the sequel. Look how crappy this is. I don't have a jewel case, let alone enough, but once you pop this disc in, you're not gonna like pop it in again. That's all I gotta say. Next up is a very noticeable one. A special classic into the 3D fighters. Look at that, man. Battle Arena Toshoden. One of the very early PlayStation 3D fighters. If not pretty decent ones. I have to say 2 is still a lot better than this game, and sadly I don't have to, but this game right here is really good, or really okay. Yeah. You know, not a lot to say about this one. It's very early. I don't know about the game's story, I don't know about the game's characters. I just know that it was one of the early PlayStation 1 fighters, 3D fighters. I would say it came out around the same time like Tekken 1. Okay guys, this one's funny too. So, I'm not gonna do Nintendo 64 games either, because I only got like 2, which is like War Gods famous for being the Mortal Kombat 4 prototype, and I got Killer Instinct Gold. I love Killer Instinct Gold, man. It's not the arcade port, but I take what I can get, man. That game was very awesome. This next game right here I'm looking at is what I call prototype number 2 for Mortal Kombat 4. And you guys should already know by now. It's Sapo. The game. Praise Sapo if you guys are coming from Maximilian. Look at this shit. They say praise Sapo, but once I do a playthrough of this sometime, I'm gonna make sure I find a different character to praise for too. Because I'm pretty sure there's more characters to take down that one cheap ass boss, man. But yeah, Sapo the game, aka Biofreaks. Man. Game is weird. Can't say it's good, but it's weird. Next up on our list is this nice looking cover. Look at that. It's like, it's holographic for some reason. Like when I picked this up at my store, I got a holographic cover of this game. Really nice. Regardless, another great classic. Very early, just as early as Arena to Shodan. And there's not much else to say. I mean, it's taken, guys. What do you want me to do? A lot of you guys are not gonna know this next one, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's a better robot fighting game than Rise 2, man. Look at this beauty. Gundam Battle Assault 2. The sprites were good in this game. The gameplay was good. And it's just, that's all you needed. This is just Battle Assault 2, guys. You could play as Gundam Wing, Gundam Burn, and the originals. All the originals. My favorite was Gundam Wing, man. Because that's what I grew up with. I grew up with Gundam Wing. That was one of my all-time favorites. Oh yeah. Not a bad game, man. Not a bad game at all. And yeah. I wasn't gonna say the title, man. Just make sure you God bless the ring. Just make sure. I think I like this game. I like this game for its gameplay. I like its interesting visuals. But what I don't like about this game is the fact that they put Final Fantasy VII characters in it. And let me, now before you hit starting that dislike button, I'll say this right now. It's such bait as to why Tobal sold so well and why this game did pretty decent. And Tobal sold so well because Final Fantasy Demo was in there, and when you got Egghertz, you got Cloud, Sephiroth, Yuffie, Vincent Valentine, Tifa, and people played it for the wrong reason. You know why? Because those characters were in there. They heard about it and they were like, oh my god, I want to play them right now. Cloud's first fighting game right here. You guys thought that was Super Smash Brothers? No. This is Egghertz. And I would love to talk about this game because this is the most decent game that Dream Factory's ever made. I played Tobal, and I played others, such as Kakuto Chojin. But this was interesting. I like this game for not obvious reasons. It's nice to have a lot of icing on your cake when it came to the Final Fantasy VII characters, but still, like I said, I think people enjoyed it for the wrong reason, and that was only one fucking reason in this game. So yeah, we'll get back to this later. I also forgot to bring my Digimon Rumble Arena fighting game. But yeah, I'll just tell you that right now. I have a Digimon Rumble Arena fighting game. I think Digimon Rumble Arena was pretty decent. Yeah, I probably did an infinite combo on it like when I was like a couple months ago when I started the channel, but pretty decent fighter, more decent than its sequel. So we're moving on from the PlayStation 1 games, and we're jumping right into the good ones right now. There's no question. There's no question about this game. It's good, it's spectacular, and yes, it's broken. But that's what makes games like this and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 so enjoyable to play. Nothing needs to be said. This is Capcom vs. SNK 2. You guys need to play it. It's even on the PlayStation Store right now. This is a great fighter. Next up is a game I don't usually play a lot. Ta-da! Virtual Fighter. Virtual Fighter is one of my favorites. If not the most least played. I always played DOA and I always played Tekken way before this game. In this game, I think it really depends on which Virtual Fighter you guys like. Because I can't really say anything about it. I think all Virtual Fighter games are good, if not better than the other one. I think they're all spectacular. But people said 4 was too easy to play, 3 was kind of broken, but then you guys played Virtual Fighter 2 and Virtual Fighter 5. It's different opinions, man. I don't want to say anything about it. I just gotta say that, you know, I enjoy all my fighters. I like all the Virtual Fighter games. I never found anything wrong with them. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that's gonna bring out the differences in me and say that, you know, Virtual Fighter 3 did this, but then Virtual Fighter 4 tried to do this, you know? It's kind of like Tekken 4 and Tekken 5. And see, I really enjoyed Tekken 4. Tekken 4 tried a lot of new things. And they just went back to 5 with the original style that they always went with. I guess they, like, finalized on that thing, because Tekken 4 had so many new things going on for it. It was ridiculous. Probably why a lot of people liked that too. A lot of people liked 4 and then a lot of people disliked 4. But, yeah. Interesting enough. Virtual Fighter 4 Evolution, you guys. Really, really nice game. And this is what I like to call Neo Geo Service. Just like Maximum Impact 2 and Maximum Impact. Look at all this service. This game was not needed. This game was not requested. But we still got it, and I still like it, you know? It's such a new idea. It's a super new idea, I would say. It's just a tag team, you know, go balls out, all SNK characters, bunch of nonsense. Or Orchi, or whatever the final boss's name was towards the end of the game. He's just thrown in there, and it's all service. And Marco's in here. You know, it's weird. This game is, like, again, this is what I like to call service. Neo Geo service. Speaking of Tekken 4, you guys, there you go. Here you fucking go. Man. This was not the first to step in its way. But they tried a lot of new things, and a lot of those new things would have worked out in the later games. But I think it just came to realization that maybe too much was probably gonna not sell all that well. And here I was, you know, talking about Tekken 7 having all these supers and everything. But for some reason, like Tekken 4, they still kept it original, regardless of what they tried to do as far as a lot of new stuff. And this is definitely not the first game to ever step on the PlayStation 2. It was a Tekken Tag Tournament. I still love that game too. But yeah, Tekken 4. I think this is one of the more very serious Tekkens I ever played. Because as far as Tekken 6, it was weird. Tekken 6 was weird. They introduced a bunch of gods, and Jin was mad and he started a Bloodline Rebellion army. Lars was a family member as well. He had Mishima blood. Yeah, you know, Tekken 6 was serious as well. Just not, I guess I would say confusing. But Yeah, no, this is one of the more very serious ones. I mean, if you saw that intro is not that happy. It's all about those revenge. It's all about the revengeance and the new characters, and it's all dark and everything. Kazuya just busting through all the Tekken Force guys. It was so much fun. Speaking of more Tekken, this was, man, I love Tekken 5 too. Not as much as 4. There's not much else to say though. I mean, Tekken 5 guys, if you haven't played it, I don't know what to tell you. This was like what, 10th anniversary? Yeah, 10th anniversary of Tekken. Now they're working on the 20th anniversary. Time flies, man. And surprisingly, I think this is still one of the more better looking Tekkens out there. They say Tekken 4 was secretly running in 1080p, but I still haven't seen it yet, so it's debatable. Okay, stepping into the shitstorm right now. I'm already seeing a couple really bad titles, except for 1 or 2. And next up is the end of Mortal Kombat. Oh my god. The supposedly end chapter of Mortal Kombat. How lackluster, man. Even this nice collector's edition does not save it from its crappy create your own fatalities. Oh, you remember Su Hao and Movado? All those characters, man. Just no. It's mediocre. It came from deception. This was supposed to end everything. And then since we didn't do so well in the game sales, guess what? Now we gotta re-kickstart it. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, everybody. It's a nice case. I mean, just look at this beauty. God, it just does not save the game at all. It says playable version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, exclusive history fatalities, over 50 video character trading cards, plus a unique animation cell cover art. And yet it still doesn't save anything about... God, it doesn't save anything from that crappy gameplay. Speaking of crap, how do you guys feel about this one? You know, it's fun in a bad way. It wasn't too bad. I liked it much better than X-Men Mutant Academy, X-Men Mutant Academy 2, etc. You know, I mean, this game is pretty interesting in a bad way. It's definitely not a good fighter. I'll tell you that, but it was enjoyable regardless. But yeah, X-Men Next Dimension. This one's very... With this $10 price point, I haven't seen this game a lot around lately, so I would say it's kind of rare to see it. Because this is a very early PlayStation 2 fighter, I would say. But yeah, Next Dimension, guys. Alright. Neo Geo Service. I got 2 of them coming up. This first one. Look at that. Falcon was his name. He created this game. And bunch of fan service. Titties flopping everywhere. Over-exaggerated designs. And he just decided to put Hanzo Hattori in this game because that was his favorite character. Man. How do King of Fighters fans react to this? Should they react to a positive note on this game, or should they react to a negative note? Because again, SNK does not do very well in the 3D gaming genre. They do not do well, unless it was pachinko slot games, but you know how that turned out. But yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know what to say. This is an interesting game. It is not by all means terrible, but I say it's service. If that's what you guys wanted, you wanted to see new King of Fighters with all these Neo Geo costumes and everything, that's totally fine. But, oh man, it's interesting. Another one, the first game in the franchise. Again, serviceable. Not as good as 2006 because, I mean, the first one I played was 2006. They had a bunch of costumes, bunch of cameos, and a lot of fighters compared to this. And not much else to say. It's just decent. And of course, more. This isn't even service, guys. This is actually just a game. This is the true sequel. King of Fighters 11, man. So many good times with this game. I don't know if this is the second chapter in Ash Crimson series, but I'll tell you what, there were so many characters in the console version that it was ridiculous. Mai was in here, some of the older Fatal Fury. There was a guy from another SNK fighter called Ryoki something. He was a guy with red hair and purple trunks, tan skin. He came from like a 3D SNK fighter. But man, remember the two last bosses, man? There was a transgender character, like the first boss. I think her name was Shion. And then this other guy right here, he just spammed the fucking screen. Like, I would just get constantly spammed by this guy. All I hear was that beginning piano music, and all I would see is purple shit, or not purple shit, pink shit everywhere on the screen. So fucking ridiculous. This boss is cheap, just like any other King of Fighters boss. Great fucking game though. King of Fighters, man. King of Fighters can be a serious hit and miss when it comes to their games in the whole entire trilogy. It's just, man. Next up is, this is another favorite. Besides Tekken 2, look at this. Gosh, it was like, when they jumped to the PlayStation 2, the graphics were insane at its time. This was one of the best looking games I've seen in a long time. It was like Taken 2 HD remastered before this game got remastered again for Tekken Hybrid. Oh my gosh. Countless of hours, countless of characters, high tournament play. Even though you don't see it on YouTube or anywhere else. This is a good fucking game. By the way, Tekken Bowl, remember it. Tekken Bowling is... That's amazing. They put it back in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, which is also another one. If I had 3 favorite Tekken games, Tekken 2, Tekken Tag Tournament, and Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. Too many good times. This next one, self-explanatory. It's Street Fighter, guys. Look at this collection. You had to buy both collections to be a true Street Fighter fan. Street Fighter Alpha series, I played through all the games. I still love Alpha 3 to this day. And they also added a little cute Gym Fighter. I love Gym Fighter. There's Super Gym Fighter, but I mostly play Puzzle Fighter. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. Guys, great fucking collection. There's nothing else to say. Like this next one. There's nothing to say. This is the Anniversary Collection. This carried 2 iconic Street Fighter games. Just like this one, except with more stuff in it. This came with a movie, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. This came with Third Strike. And this came with the Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 Hyper. Yeah, something like that. That was a lot of fun. God, man. Like, just look at this. That's all you need to... What are you gonna say about Street Fighter, you know?